Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Pokemon TCGO battle. I just recorded this battle, and I'm trying to be a little bit better about doing my narrations right after I take the match, because I think I remember the match better. So I'll have a better idea of what's going on rather than being confused when the match starts. So I'm playing Darkrai Terrakion with hammers. You can see because I have all that stuff in my hand right now. I actually have a phenomenal opening hand. I really couldn't ask for a much better hand than this. On top of that, my opponent is going to end up mulliganing 4 times, possibly 5. That's the third, I believe. And I think there's one more. 4, yep. And possibly one more. But I don't think so. I think it was just 4 times. Nope, 5. I was wrong. So yeah, once that happens, I ask him if he actually remembered to put any basics in here, which he did. But I have seen his deck, and I can kind of tell that it's going to be pretty similar to mine. I've seen Dark Energy, Fighting Energy, and Hammers, which basically makes it my deck. It turns out he is running Landorus rather than Terrakion, which is really just a flavor preference, I think. And I should probably preface this match by saying that I have not played in quite a while, and I really haven't been keeping up with decks and what they're looking like nowadays. I know what's been winning, but I haven't been trying it out. So I really have no idea what good builds for a lot of the top decks look like. And that is definitely going to come into play this match later in the game. But I get 5 cards to start, and I don't get to go first, which is a little scary because an N could undo everything and not only get rid of all those extra cards, but sweep away my awesome hand that I had to start with. But luckily that doesn't happen. Of course, I'm going to make up for it by making a huge stupid play on turn 1. You'll notice I have 2 Dark Energy in my hand and a Dark Patch. So that means that I can actually attach to the first Sableye, use the computer search to get rid of the second Dark Energy, and then attach to the benched one and Junk Hunt on turn 1, which would have been amazing. Instead, I'm an idiot, and I don't do that at all. Even here, if I would have computer searched for a Dark Energy, that would have been fine. It wouldn't have been as good, but yeah. So I get a Tool Scrapper, which I didn't need, and at this point I realize, oh, right, I needed that other Dark Energy. I have way too many cards in my hand to throw them away. I really don't want to drop the Terrakion this turn, although I think I do. No, I guess I wait till the next turn. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't want to drop the Terrakion this turn because that would not really help me at all. But I might do it, yeah, and then I go ahead and attach the Fighting Energy. The main thing here is that by attaching the Fighting Energy, it means that Junipering, even if I hit a Dark Energy, I can't manually attach, and I didn't want to throw away the Terrakion since I'm obviously playing something with Dark, so I decided to bench it and keep the Fighting Energy on it as well. But I'm stuck. I'm not going to be able to Junk Hunt this turn, which is a huge, huge misplay. I should have been able to do that, and I just played my cards really stupidly because I haven't played the game in a couple of weeks. So that's cool. My opponent did not do a whole lot last turn, which would have given me a huge advantage. All he did was attach and Confuse Ray. And I could have really taken advantage of that by getting a Dark Energy, a Dark Patch, getting a Computer Search Junk Hunted on turn 1, which is just amazing. But instead I squander it, and it's going to cost me. So at least I do have the Dark Energy in hand, which means I can go ahead and manually attach to the Sableye this turn, and then retreat, and I will be able to Junk Hunt. There's one more Dark in my discard pile. And I don't really feel like there's anything else I need this turn. Night Spear is out of the question, again, because of the misplay on turn 1. I think I had a pretty solid chance at a turn 2 Night Spear had I played that hand right, but it's not going to happen now. So I'm just going to Skyla for the Dark Patch. I have the Random Receiver in my hand. That means I've got a supporter next turn, regardless of what happens. So I don't feel the need to use the Skyla for that. And yeah, just attach once to Darkrai, and I will definitely be able to get a Night Spear next turn. Well, not definitely, but probably. I'm going to junk hunt here, grab the computer search, and I think I decide to get my catcher back. I don't really need anything that's in here. Don't want to take the Random Receiver in case I get End. I want to keep it in there. Don't really need the Ultra Ball. I don't have any Dark Energy in the discard for the Dark Patch. A Crushing Hammer wouldn't be a bad idea, but I guess I decided to take the catcher. Why? I don't really know. The Crushing Hammer would have been a better idea there, but it's not going to matter too much, I don't think. Especially with the way that I flip for hammers this time. I don't do very well. You can probably tell that by the title. But kind of hurts me. Anyhow, I get a decent turn 2. Again, not as good as it could have been. But my opponent doesn't have any attackers down on the board, which is really good for me. I also have potential to get a Land Crush next turn if I wanted. I have that second Fighting Energy. I can use the Computer Search to get an Energy Switch, so I could Land Crush. If he plays down something, an EX, that's probably... Well, if he plays down a Darkrai, that's obviously going to be the right choice. Other than that, I'll have to kind of play it by ear. But he doesn't bench anything again, just goes for the Confuse Ray, doesn't do anything with his hand, and... yeah, so I really want to attach that Fighting Energy to Terrakion, but I know that if I want to Night Spear this turn, which is going to be better now, since he doesn't have any other cards on board, Night Spear is going to be better because of the spread damage, and it's not going to expose the Terrakion later. So because of that, I need to put the Fighting Energy on Darkrai instead. I still do need to Computer Search for the Energy Switch, so I'm going to get rid of the catcher and the Enhanced Hammer because it looks like he doesn't play any special energy, so that's not going to help me at all. And now I think I top decked that Juniper, and I'm just going to go ahead and use it here. I already have discarded one Fighting Energy, I believe, and I have the second one on Darkrai, so I really only have 2. That means I'm probably only going to be able to power up one Terrakion this game, and because of that, I just kind of throw the other one away. Go for the Crushing Hammer. Why not? It's there. Just play it. And I think I got a heads. I get a heads when it doesn't really matter. And then Night Spear. So I take the first prize. I'm in a pretty strong position here. He has only a Sableye and not a lot to do with it. On top of that, I can Land Crush this turn if I need to, assuming I keep this hand. Again, I have a Skyla and a Fighting Energy, which is really fortunate. And now he plays down a Landorus, which is a little bit worrying. And this is his first of 2 pretty much spectacular turns, I believe. No, maybe he just gets a Juniper this turn and has a really good turn. Yeah, never mind. Next turn is going to be the really good turn. Here he just gets a Juniper and then goes for the Confuse Ray, gets the heads, which is kind of annoying, because I don't have another Darkrai on board, and I'm confused. So I'm going to attach to Terrakion here, and I would like to see me catcher up that Landorus and Land Crush it, but it looks like I'm just going to go for a Sableye here and get a Junk Hunt instead. I definitely think putting the pressure on the Landorus is better. Like I said, I did have that Skyla for another Energy Switch, and I could have Land Crushed that turn, which would have been huge. Put a massive dent into that Landorus and really put it on a clock so that it doesn't get to use Land's Judgment. You know, Hammerhead I can definitely deal with, but Land's Judgment is terrifying. Luckily, I have the Eviolite down on my Darkrai, and so that's going to protect me from a lot of damage. It's going to only do 40 instead of 60, which puts me out of 3-hit KO range, and it's also going to make it much less effective when Darkrai's on the bench. So since I know he needs a bunch of fight energy, I decide instead to just switch into Sableye and hunt for 2 hammers. It's not a bad plan. I do think that the Terrakion play was better, especially because he gets a freaking amazing turn here. Tool Scrapper, Energy Switch, Fighting Energy, basically everything he needs to put me in a bad spot. He gets that Tool Scrapper, and you may have noticed I've had that Eviolite in my hand forever, but I haven't played it down. That's because I know everyone plays Tool Scrapper. At this point, it's really kind of dumb to play down 2 tools at the same time, as nice as it would be sometimes. So now I have it again, but I go for the hammers, get double tails, which really, really, really hurts. I cannot. I mean, that's bad. Double tails, and that means I don't get to take the fighting energy off. It means that he has a really good chance of using Land's Judgment next turn, and he took off my Eviolite for that Land Crush, so now, even if I put that second Eviolite on my Darkrai, it's not going to save him from a Land's Judgment. I got 60 damage instead of 40. I guess it wouldn't have mattered anyhow, actually, because he would still do 140, which would be just enough, so not a huge deal, but I'm going to go ahead and start getting another Darkrai powered up, a fresh one that does have the Eviolite. That'll give me a better chance of surviving a Land's Judgment, or at least making him discard all his energies. And that's really my goal. And so I retreat here, the Darkrai. I don't want to give up the 2 prizes. Going to force him to have a catcher if he wants to take the prizes on the Darkrai. And go up with Terrakion because it only gives up 1 prize, and it only has 30 damage, so that also means that if he wants to use Land's Judgment here, he's going to have to discard his energy, which again would be good for me because he doesn't have a whole lot. But he uses a Skyla for his Gold Potion. Definitely going to put me in a bit of a spot. Now Terrakion's at 60 damage, and a Land's Judgment will kill him. So that kind of sucks. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, though. I just have to deal damage to this thing, really, and try and come back later. But I get a catcher here, and I decide to take out the Darkrai instead. I definitely think this is a misplay. Darkrai doesn't have any energy. Yes, it could get energy, and it can accelerate with Dark Patch, but freaking Land's Judgment is just going to wreck me. It kills everything on my board right now, and that's bad, obviously. So I just get a little bit jumpy, take the easy prizes while I have them, just because I think Terrakion kills Darkrai. That's why he's in there, so that's why I did it. And it definitely does not do me any favors, because he does have the second fight energy. He's able to power up the Landorus, and he's going to be able to get off a Land's Judgment, not need to discard the energy, and take out my Terrakion. So now I only have Darkrai's. I've already discarded the other Terrakion, so he's not coming out, and he can kill all of my things. And that's not good. I really don't want to send up the other Darkrai, the fresh one, because I don't want it to die. What I probably should have done is attacked with the hurt one, but still, I was thinking I don't want to give up a Darkrai and then not take 2 prizes. So I go back to the hammer strategy, try and get the hammers going again. And he has another catcher. I think that's his 3rd. So he's done pretty well drawing into those. He still has almost 20 cards in his deck. So to be able to hit his catchers on demand is pretty nice for him. But that's going to hurt me, because now I don't even get a Night Spear in. I went for the Junk Hunt, went for the hammers again, and yeah, didn't get a Night Spear, and now I'm going to lose a Darkrai anyhow, which is what I was trying to avoid. So I went from being in a really, really good position to a really, really shitty one in like 2 turns. Part of it is due to the fact that he is just running incredibly hot. He's getting everything he needs, but despite that, I still think I could have done better. Like, I misplayed as well. So that's not doing me any favors, and especially when your opponent is running well, you really need to play tight or you're going to lose. And so I lose another Darkrai, and now I'm down to 2 prizes. I can't really bench anything else. Gonna go for some hammers here. I hit 1, which is okay, but it's not quite enough. If he has another fighting energy, he could still Land Crush me, and that's pretty scary. So I'm going to end him down to 2 cards here, and just hope to be able to prevent that from happening. There's a pretty good chance he's not going to be able to Land's Judgment this turn. I got rid of one of his energies. He's already got 3 on the board, so I don't think he probably has that many more. But again, I go for the hammers, and I'm just trying to drain his fighting energy. If I get rid of the fighting energy, I win, pretty much. But he draws an energy switch and a Juniper off of his cards, so that's cool. And now if he has a catcher, I lose. Luckily, he doesn't get it, but that turn just really sucked. That was incredible to get. He got the best 2 cards he possibly could have gotten in that situation. And yeah, now I'm really, really in a bad spot. Sableye is going to go down. I cannot bench anything else. I can't bench another Sableye, obviously, because he's going to go down to 1 prize, and that would just be the prize. So if I do not deal with this Landorus this turn, I lose. Go for my hammers, get double tails again. So out of my double hammer turns, I went 1 for 6, which is cool. And at this point, I pretty much lost. I even open up the chat and tell them that I have maybe a very, very slim chance. If I bench Sableye and go for Confuse Ray and get a heads, I can stall for a turn. But at some point, I'm going to get Land Judgment, and that's going to be it. So, yeah, game's pretty much over. I am going to go for the Sableye play, but miss because I flip tails. It's just kind of what happened this game. I flipped a bunch of tails and I lost. That's what happens when you play hammers. If you don't flip heads, you lose. And that's why I just don't like this deck. It's so good in theory, but I just can't flip heads on hammers when I need them. And I lose every time I play it. Even I remember when this deck came out at Nationals, around Nationals last year, I played it and I lost every game because I just didn't hit heads. And same thing happens here. It's not just the hammers. I did screw up a lot. So I definitely deserve to lose, but it still doesn't improve my opinion of the deck at all. So there we go. I missed the heads on the confusion flip, and he just Land Crushes the crap out of me. Land Judgment the crap out of me. And that's the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Pretty good match to learn how not to play this deck. But I mean, it was a decent match even for all my misplays. So I figured I would save it and do a narration, put it up. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave me a comment about it. And I will have more stuff coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.